again. I had a question about like the instant manifestation or the seed and then something coming to me. So what, as a very real practical example, what just happened, was that an instant manifestation, or have I planted some seed some time ago to get me in the seat?
It is always that. There is always something that has come before. The reason it feels like instant manifestation is because in the moment, it's happening in this instant, but it's like someone who has been an actor, you often hear it, that they had overnight success after 30 years of no work. But once they come on the scene, it looks like instant success because it looks like they came out of nowhere. So the question is really, how aware of the vibrational evolving have you been? You see, this is the subject of thoughts turning to things. And humans want to call it manifestation in the moment it bursts into the thing or into the experience or into the tangible, when there's so much that has happened along the way first. And so there are two reasons that you might not be aware of the difference between thoughts turning to things and instant manifestation. One is you just might not be sensitive to your energy, which is not the case with you. The other is you might just be so accustomed to the feeling of alignment that the feeling of alignment is just the way it is, and then when things manifest, it's like, oh yay. And that is the case with you. It's interesting because you called us over there. In other words, we're sort of looking over there, and there you were. You were undeniable because your expectation was very strong. And that expectation was in place before that moment. And so there you were. And did you notice, we certainly noticed, that there was no hesitation. Your expectation was so strong that you were almost in the air on your feet before we even got the point finished. Yeah. So.
And so, how do I stay there all the time?
You don't, but the way you improve the odds of being there more is by reveling in how good it feels when it does happen and never lamenting when it doesn't. It's all about the book of positive aspects rather than the book of trying to fix things that are broken.
So if we can talk from a contrast standpoint, right? So earlier you were saying when, like, I don't want to say...
What if, because there are pieces of resistance on your path always, and what if your inner being, who knows where you are in relationship to where you want to be and knows where all of those pieces of resistance are, what if your inner being calls you to something that you would call unwanted on your way to something else that you would call unwanted, on your way to something that you would call greater clarity, on your way to what you want? Your inner being can't call you to a place that you're unwilling to go. That's what we were talking about with our friend. Your inner being can't assert a vibration that's so strong that it will overcome your resistance. But your inner being, wise inner being, knowing what your resistance is, knows that you could come to this piece of resistance, which is slightly less, and then to this piece of resistance, which is slightly less, and to this piece of resistance, which is slightly less, which is usually what the pattern of thoughts turning to things is. But what if from where you stand to where you want to be, there is no resistance? That's what you want to call instant manifestation. Good clarity. Did you get that?
Mm-hmm.
But don't you sort of kind of have to make peace with wherever you are? Don't you sort of want to say, my path of least resistance shouldn't matter to me because it doesn't matter to my inner being? That's like saying, I'm going to go on a vacation and I'm going to get on the cruise ship in Fort Lauderdale, but first I got to get to Fort Lauderdale, and then being bummed that you're not just already in Fort Lauderdale. I either got to drive or I got to fly. Oh, I want to go on this cruise, but I don't want to do what it takes to get to Fort Lauderdale. You don't want to meditate. We're going to be after you today. You don't want to do what is required to be on the brink of instant manifestations. You just want instant manifestations. Well, cut it out. Start enjoying the journey, because there is satisfaction in releasing resistance. Yes? Isn't it fun to sort of get where you're going through paying attention? Don't you like to be guided? And really, we know for sure that there's not one of you. Let's talk about just a physical excursion or journey somewhere. There's not one of you that wants to just go directly from where you are to there, when there's so much wonderful stuff to see along the way. So many encounters and adventures and people to see and fun to be had. The manifestation that you're looking for, the instant manifestation that you think you want. We're just going to enjoy this for a while before we tell you. Is only your excuse for the journey anyway. And the journey is so wonderful, even when it isn't. Because even when it isn't, it shores up what you want. So we're not really big fans of encouraging you to want instant manifestation. First of all, because it's fiction. And next of all, because it's more fun to have a journey than to just teleport somewhere into an experience. You do that in your dream state all the time. How do you like that? Yeah, you just show up somewhere a little disoriented, people you don't know, nothing really connects quite as well, but it was instant. You went to sleep and bam, there you were in a strange new world. Esther used to wake up on a really regular basis and say to Jerry, oh, I love the continuity of my life. I love waking up in this bed and knowing how I got here, remembering what was before and eager about what's coming next.